Fabien Cousteau is raising $135 million to build the International Space Station of the Deep Sea. This is cool. I don't know if you're familiar. This
Who's that?
famous undersea explorer by the name of Jacques Cousteau.
Oh, yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah.
He did the documentaries, wore the little tiny hat, the little toque on there, and the guy was he's always in the deep sea checking things out. Now, he had a dream and actually executed on that dream at one point of an underwater kind of laboratory.
Right.
And he put one off the coast of France, but it was a small scale thing, sort of more in line with almost like an underwater vehicle or a submarine that was just stuck at the bottom. I felt like his hat was smaller than that, but it's a full-on toque that he was wearing by the looks of it. Famous for that toque. And then, of course, it inspired all the characters that Wes Anderson went on to in the films and whatnot. But this guy's a legend, obviously. A legend in biology, a legend in content, really, too, because he was trying to get people excited about what's going on in the natural world. And I always appreciate that type of stuff. Well, anyways, Fabien Cousteau is his grandson, and he wants to keep the dream alive. And so he's trying to build, well, it sounds like he's going to build this structure 60 feet below the surface off the coast of Curacao, which is in the Caribbean. Kind of a nice climate over there. I don't know if you've ever been, Will.
Yeah.
You never been to the Caribbean? Anywhere?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Cuba.
You went to Cuba. What were you doing? You were in the sand, the nice white sand? What were you doing?
A couple times for my sister's wedding.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And did you have a cocktail or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
You did.
They call it the Havana. It's like a really delicious.
Probably had rum in it and whatever else. Yeah. Lots of rum. Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy area down there. It's magical. Bahamas, Cuba, even the Mayan Riviera side of Mexico is the same kind of thing with the white sand and all the rest of it. Anyways, so he's going to be off the coast over there, and he's going to build a legit habitat, an actual beast of a habitat, 4,000 square feet that people can, much like a space station, stay stationed there and potentially increase their studying capabilities and capacity because of the fact they can stay down for longer periods. Up until now, or without a structure like this, you're relying on your scuba equipment, and it could get rough. You know, you have limitations, some pretty severe limitations. You got to get back up to the top. It's very I don't know. I've never put on the scuba gear, but I can imagine the tank is running out and you're investigating this really cool creature and you got to bounce and whatever else. Now, some people may say, well, why don't you just remove the creatures and then study them above, outside the water? They actually change substantially when you do that. And one of the reasons that's important is because I read through the article and it turns out one of the reasons they want to study these creatures down there at the bottom of the water, they can have some pretty key pharmaceutical developments based on some of the behaviors of these creatures down there. So they want to investigate them for potential upcoming drugs that could cure all kinds of who knows what. And to pull the creatures out and study them elsewhere doesn't work because they change too much. So they have to study the attributes of these creatures, how they deal with certain things in their environment. And a building like this could actually allow for that. So that's where your investment comes from. The universities and all the rest. Why are you spending all this money on this thing down? It can't just be for the textbooks. No, because there could actually be some upside for some legit commercial enterprises as well. But they can study other things like, the climate and the creatures that may be endangered and whatever else. They can just monitor. It's amazing how big the ocean is, Will. It's and as citizens, we like to walk around, we like to talk, we like to go have a coffee, pretend that we're pretty decent, we know a few things. I mean, what? There's a lot we don't know.
Yeah.
And it's not just up, it's also down.
Yes.
And that's basically where he's coming from, keeping the dream alive of his grandfather, Jacques Cousteau. So it's going to cost a few bucks, $135 million. He has investment from a couple different universities, and I think this thing's going to be pretty cool.